The Hermitage, located in Hermitage, Tennessee, is considered the best preserved early U.S. presidential home. Since opening as a museum in 1889 and giving people a glimpse of Andrew Jackson's life in the years of his retirement, 16 million people from around the world have toured this mansion. The Hermitage, home to Andrew Jackson, his wife Rachel Jackson, and their various adopted children, was constructed from 1819 to 1821. While in Washington, President Jackson decided to remodel his home by enlarging it drastically in 1831. Added on were one-story wings, a two-story entrance portico with Doric columns, a rear portico, and copper gutters. The east wing contained a library and farm office, while a large dining room and pantry made up the west wing. The mansion now had a new, classical appearance. There was also a beautiful garden located next to the mansion for Rachel Jackson, because her favorite hobby was gardening and she loved flowers. In 1832, 4 years after Rachel Jackson's death, there was also a temple and monument constructed for Rachel's grave. The tomb is located right next to her beloved garden. In the fall of 1834, a large chimney fire heavily damaged the mansion. Andrew Jackson took this opportunity to remodel the house a second time with Greek-inspired architecture. After the remodeling was finished, the mansion became one of the most fashionable houses in Tennessee. Cotton was the sole cash crop of the Hermitage, and at the peak of the operation, Jackson had more than 100 enslaved men, women, and children. This is not including the 50 or so slaves used for household chores. Another source of income for the Hermitage were dairy products. In 1850, the Hermitage produced 1,000 pounds of butter. After serving 2 terms as president, Andrew Jackson retired to the Hermitage in 1837. On June 8, 1845, Jackson died, and 2 days later was buried under the tomb next to his wife. In 1888, the state of Tennessee considered using the Hermitage property as a home for Tennessee Confederate veterans. A group of wealthy Nashville women, including some of Andrew Jackson's descendants, protested and formed the Ladies' Hermitage Association, whose main goal was to preserve the mansion and its grounds. In the end, the Tennessee State Legislature compromised and gave the Ladies' Hermitage Association 25 acres of the land, which included the mansion, garden, and several historic outbuildings. Over the next several decades, the Ladies' Hermitage Association bought and negotiated until, in 2003, they owned every acre of land that Andrew Jackson did when he was alive. With 1,050 acres, the Hermitage is ranked number 13 in America's largest and most popular historic site museums. Today, included on the Hermitage grounds is the mansion, where nearly all of the furnishings are the Jackson family's original possessions. There is Andrew and Rachel Jackson's tomb, located near Rachel's garden. There is Alfred's cabin, belonging to Alfred Jackson, an enslaved and later free man who lived at the Hermitage all of his life until he died in 1901. The cabin is the only slave dwelling still standing in the mansion backyard. There is the spring house, which contained a spring that supplied the Jackson family with water and kept food cool. And lastly, there is the log farmhouse where the Jackson family lived in from 1804 until 1821, before the mansion was built. Afterwards, the farmhouse served as a slave cabin. To keep the authenticity, all employees are dressed in period attire. Every day, the Hermitage not only educates people on the life of Andrew Jackson and his family, but transports people into the life of a president in the 1800s.